प्रिया मैम नहीं आए।
Join.
Balani sir, now you are the host from your another device. So you're on mute also.
Yes, so we can begin the program.
So can we begin?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so hello, Wizards, the literary club of Bombay Teachers Training College, on the occasion of William Shakespeare's birth anniversary, welcomes you all to a program filled with fun and activities. Before we go on, I would like Azmina to play the college prayer, please.
Yeah, actually, the screen sharing rights have been disabled.
Just a minute.
Could you please?
Azmin, I will make you quote. Wait. Azmina, sorry. Azmina, just a minute.
So I have shared the screen sharing right with everyone. Everyone can share this screen.
Got it.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Thank you, Azmina. I would now like to call upon Shashikant to give us an introduction to Shakespeare and his works.
Actually, I cannot share my screen. I need to share my screen. I'm unable to share my screen.
Wait for a minute, Shashikant. Just a minute.
Yes.
Okay, now you can share your screen. Over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes. So a very good morning to all of you. So today we are here to celebrate the 457th birth anniversary of William Shakespeare. So, I mean, we have this question in mind that why he is most remembered, what is there in Shakespeare, which is not there in other writers and other poets, that why he is celebrated too much. So we know that he was the master of language. So Shakespeare was able to manipulate with his words as well as with his plays so well that the viewers or the public, though who used to watch those plays, they used to connect with the characters so easily, so well, that he is still remembered. So now I just want to have a quick recap of his life, his works, and what he has done quickly. So this is the slide that I'm sharing with you all. But before that, I would also want to say that 23rd April is also celebrated as the St. George Day and the United Nations World Book and Copyright Day, which was a natural choice to pay a worldwide tribute to writers such as William Shakespeare. So here I begin with my presentation. So the time period of Shakespeare was 1564 to 1660. His life, if I talk about his life, then so Shakespeare's life, born on April 23rd, 1564 in Stratford upon Avon, located in the center of England, which is also called the heart of England. So this town that is important river crossing settlement and market center. So basically he is also known as the Bard of Avon. So Bard means the poet. So he was the greatest poet that ever lived since that time. So therefore he is known as the Bard of Avon. Son of a prominent town official, glove maker, wool dealer, and a money lender, John Shakespeare. The name of his father was John Shakespeare and mother was Mary Arden, a third child of the 8 children in family. He had a huge family consisted of 7 siblings and 3 brothers. However, most of his sisters died due to plague and only one survived. Now, if I talk about his education, so William Shakespeare had a middle class education starting at a 6 or 7 at a local grammar school where he learned how to read and write. He also studied Latin. He was introduced to the classics in literature. He graduated when he was 16, but he couldn't afford to go to the university because his father has gone into debt. And therefore he has to leave his education in the between. Now, if I talk about the Shakespeare's marriage and family, so he was married to Anne Hathaway at the age of 18. At that time, she was 26 years of age. They had a daughter, Susanna, and twins, Hamnet and Judith, on which there is a play also, which is Hamlet. Hamnet died at the age of 11. Now, Shakespeare, after his death, he moved to London later in his life and worked as a playwright, poet, and actor. If I talk about these years, that is the lost years, which are also known as the lost years, starting from 1585 to 1592. Here, we cannot say it is like unpredictable, unknown that what Shakespeare did during these years when he left Stratford upon and went to London. So these are the years where we are unsure that what he actually did. So probably he arrived in London around 1856, and what researches shows that what he did around these years was that he joined a London-based company of actors. Moving forward, Shakespeare as a playwright and poet. So Shakespeare's reputation in London was established around 1592. He wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets. His plays were divided into histories, tragedies, and comedies. So we'll have a glimpse of that. So if I talk about his histories, Richard II, Richard III, Henry IV, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Henry VIII, plus King John. If I talk about his comedies, Merchant of Venice, As You Like It, All's Well That Ends Well, you all can read. I have mentioned few famous. You can also see its pictures, strategies, very famous strategies like Hamlet, Macbeth. One of my favorite, Macbeth, my 12th grade teacher, he used to call me Macbeth because I was very much into that. So moving forward, you all can see there are Romeo and Juliet, one of the best comedies, Cleopatra, Antony and Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, comedies like As You Like It, A Midnight Summer Dream, Twelfth Night, all wonderful works. If I talk about his theater, so Shakespeare joined Lord Chamberlain's Men, the King's Men from 1603, a company of actors, a playing company for which he wrote during most of his careers. Shakespeare and the Lord of Chamberlain Men performed Barbake's theater. So initially he was performing for this theater around 1599 when they built their own theater, which was very famous and later known to be the Globe. So what was the Globe? So it was an open air theater in which a white flag means whenever there was a white flag, as you can see in the picture also, whenever there is a, but then below picture is the new modified Globe. It is not the earlier one. The earlier one was burnt. So it was an open air theater in which a white flag means there was a play on that day. So if you put the white flag there, that means on that day the play is happening. The original theater was destroyed in fire in 1613. Then it was rebuilt in around 1614, closed in 1642, and demolished in 1644. A modern reconstruction of the original Globe was opened in 1977 by Queen Elizabeth. Now, moving forward, this is something very special about Shakespeare death. Shakespeare's grave is in Holy Trinity Church, his local parish church in Stratford upon Avon. So during his last days, we can say that he again came back to his town, that is Stratford upon, and there he died. And we also see that he died on his birthday, that is the same day on which he was born, that is 23rd April 1616, the day he turned 52. On his grave, it's a line which is also a curse. So, and this curse was given by Shakespeare himself, and what is written in that: good friends, for Jesus' sake forbid to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man that spares these stones, and cursed be that moves my bones. The meaning of these is that around that time, the people or the poet or basically the writers who used to die, then their bodies or their bones were taken away for the research purpose for the people or the local people, or for it was taken by the doctors in order to have research. So he cursed them that. So therefore he wrote a curse onto that and said that the man that blessed be the man that spares the stone. So all people are blessed who are not going to touch his grave, and cursed be that who moves my bones. So all the people who are going to touch him. And later on, when workers, they started renovating or somehow recreating his monument, then the even laborers also said, no, we are not going to touch his bones. And like today 457, so around 400 years and more than that has been passed, and still his bones are untouched. So now here I end this. So this was the specialty of William Shakespeare, a short. Now I hope people want to play something. So I'll quickly announce the activity for them, which will be a very nice activity. And I want everybody to participate. Even I want the faculty members to participate, except Neelu ma'am. So I want Malani sir to participate in this activity also. So everybody is invited. You all can participate into this activity. So I would like to hand over the platform to Azmina. Can you share the screen, Azmina? Fine.
I'll share it. Just give me a.
So everybody please get ready for this activity. It's Shakespeare all around. Somewhere there is Macbeth floating, somewhere Hamlet is floating, Richard II is also there. So, and the ghost of Macbeth is also there. So don't worry about that. Sorry, the ghost of Julius Caesar. So yeah, Midnight Summer is also there. 12th Night is also there. So today, a lot of Shakespeare is happening. I'm getting poetic. So we are having this quiz or activity here. So what you all need to do, let me just brief you about this activity. You have to find out that these lines are actually from Shakespeare's play or not. So there are like 1, 2, 3, 4 these sentences or lines. You have to find out which are the lines that are from the Shakespeare's play. So I want everybody to participate into that. Fill this chat box the way you want to fill. I just want to see these responses. You have to find out, if you, Azmina, you can zoom it a bit so that everybody can see it. So
I'll start zooming from the top of it so that everybody can, in order,
So
like
it's for-
find it.
so it's for everyone. Start participating, start finding, start discussing among yourself. And I'll tell you the answer at the end. Don't worry about that. Wow. So people are responding. Fine. Yes, I can see. I want everybody to participate, though there is no compulsion, but then still. Fine. Yeah, more people are responding. It's good. Yeah, knock, knock is a very, I'll give some hints also. Knock, knock. I'll not especially, there is an intense knocking at the door because someone has done a deed. He has killed someone, and therefore there is intense knocking at his door and he is worried about that. So knock, knock. Please try to remember the lines. Blow your own trumpet. Fine. Vanish into the air. Okay. People are responding. I need more responses.
Somebody is asking Shashikant if Google search is allowed.
Google search is allowed. No, Google search is not allowed because I know you all have studied these plays in your, like starting from, school days to your graduation. Yeah, in graduation, I can say only the English students have studied, but in 10th, till 10th or 12th, yes, obviously 2 plays are compulsory. It was compulsory in my school. I read Julius Caesar in class 9th, and in 12th, I read Macbeth. So there, my interest, got inclined towards literature, and I did MA and BA in English literature. Fine. So now I'll announce the result. So first, in a pickle, yes, this is the line which is from the Shakespeare play Tempest. Second, knock, knock from Macbeth. I know I told you that there was an intense knocking at the door. So Duncan, Macbeth has killed King Duncan, and therefore there was an intense knocking at his door. Then vanish into the air. This is from Othello. Laughing stock, the merry wives of Windsor. Then heart of gold, Henry V. Wear your heart on your sleeve, again Othello. Then dead as doornail, Henry IV part 2. Then the world is my oyster, merry wives of Windsor, again. So these are the lines, and I can see that most of the people have responded correctly. So thank you very much, everyone, that you all have participated. Now I would like to hand over the platform to Dinaz and Azmina for the further activities. So over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shashikant. So Janet and I are going to do a scene reading from Othello, Act 4, Scene 3. So we'll first give you a context of what is happening in the scene. Okay, so after supper, Othello invites Lodovico on a walk. Before leaving, he orders Desdemona to go directly to bed and to dismiss Emilia. Emilia helps Desdemona prepare. As they discuss Othello, Emilia says that she wishes Desdemona had never met him. But Desdemona responds that she loves him so much that even his bad behavior has a kind of grace to her. Yet Desdemona's next words is to instruct Emilia to use the wedding bed sheets as a shroud for her should she die. Desdemona then sings a song called Willow that she learned from her mother's maid, a woman whose husband went mad and abandoned her. Over to you, Janet.
Thank you. Desdemona then asks Emilia whether she would commit adultery. Emilia responds that women are just like men and will cheat on their husband if their husbands cheat on them. Desdemona responds that she does not want to learn how to emulate bad deeds, but instead how to avoid them. She dismisses Emilia and goes to bed. Thank you. Now we will start with our scene reading. Act 4, Scene 3 begins.
How goes it now? He looks gentler than he did.
He says he will return incontinent, and he had commanded me to go to bed and bid me to dismiss you.
Dismiss me?
It was his bidding. Therefore, good Emilia, give me my nighty wearing and adieu. You must not now displease him.
Aye, would you had never seen him?
So would not I. My love doth so approve him, that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns, prithee unpin me, have grace and favor.
I have laid those sheets you bade me on the bed.
All's good. Good father, how foolish are our minds. If I do die before thee, prithee shown me in one of these same sheets.
Come, you talk.
My mother had a maid called Barbary. She was in love, and she so loved proved mad, and did forsake her. She had a song of willow, an old thing to us, but it expressed her fortune, and she died singing it. That song tonight will not go from my mind. I have much to do, but to go hang my head on one side and sing it like poor Barbary. Prithee, dispatch.
Shall I go fetch her nightgown?
No, unpin me here. This Lodovico is a proper man.
Very handsome man.
He speaks well.
I know a lady in Venice would have walked barefoot to Palestine for a touch of his nether lips.
The poor soul sat sighing by a sycamore tree, sing all the green below, her hand on her blossom, her head on her knee, sing willow, willow, willow. The fresh stream ran by her and murmured her moans, sing willow, willow, willow. Her psaltery fell from her and softened the stones, sing willow, willow, willow. Lay by this, prithee, hide thee, he come anon. Sing all a green willow, must be a garland. Let nobody blame him, his crown I approve. Nay, that's not next. Hark, who's that knocks?
It's the wind.
Oh, I called my love false love, but what said he then? Sing willow, willow, willow. If I could court more ruin, you will couch with more men. So, get thee gone, good night. My eyes do itch. Don't that born weeping?
It's neither here nor there.
I have heard it so. Oh, these men. Those thou unconscious, tell me, Amelia, that there would be women do abuse their husband in such a gross kind?
There be some such, no question.
Wouldst thou do such deed for all the world?
Why, would you not?
No, by this heavenly light, no.
Nor I neither, by this heavenly light. I might do it as well.
Wouldst thou do such deed for all the world?
The world is a huge thing. It is a great prize for a small vice.
In troth, I think those won't do it.
I troth, I think I should, and undo it when I had done. Marry, I would not do such a thing for a joint ring, nor for measures of lawn, nor for gowns, petticoats, nor caps, nor any petty exhibition. But for the whole world? Why, who would not make her husband a cuckold to make him a monarch? I should venture purgatory for it.
Beshrew me if I would do such wrong for the whole world.
Why the wrong is but a wrong in the world, and having the world for your labor, it is a wrong in your own world, and you might quickly make it right.
I do not think there is such woman.
Yes, a dozen, and as many to the vantage as would store the world they played for. But I do think it is their husbands' faults if wives do fall. Say that they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign laps, or else break out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraints upon us, or say they strike us, or scant our former, having in despite. Why, we have balls, and though we have some grace, yet have we some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell, and have both their palates, both for sweet and sour, as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And doth affection breed it? I think it doth. Is frailty that thus errs? It is so too. And have not we affections, desires for sport and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well, else let them know the ills we do. Their ills instruct us so.
Good night, good night. Heaven me such uses send, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad men. Good night.
So that was the end of our scene.
Thank you.
We would now call Azmeena to take the proceedings forward.
I have to say that your dialogue reading was amazing. The scene was too good. Right now we have a wonderful and a very exciting activity on our way. And in this activity, you just have to do a very simple thing. You have to read aloud or recite any of the dialogues written by Shakespeare or any of his sonnets. So we already have 7 participants who are eager to reserve their spots to participate in that. So we would start with them, and then later on we can invite anyone from the audience to participate in that. So firstly, I would like to call upon Ambika to start with her dialogue reading. Ambika, over to you.
Thank you, Azmeena. Thank you, Neetu ma'am, for giving me an opportunity over here to speak about my favorite dialogue. So this dialogue happens to be one of my favorite dialogue from the play Julius Caesar. And this particular play we had done in our school, though I have not done much of literature and all of that, I have not studied much, but this was the play that touched my heart when I was in school. And the dialogue that I'm going to state over here, that was stated during Caesar's assassination by Caesar himself. and the dialogue happens to be "You to Brutus." And this dialogue, though I forgot the entire play, but the start of the play and the end of the play remained with me forever, because this particular dialogue has a metaphorical meaning to me in a lot of context in my own life. So I related to this dialogue, and this is something that stayed with me since then. So this is the dialogue I wanted to state. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Ambika, for sharing out your thoughts with everybody and expressing it so well. Let me also tell you, there's also going to be some drama, some acting, some emotions from all the participants. They're not going to just read it. It's going to be something very exciting. So next I call upon Asfiya to go ahead.
Thank you, Azmeena. So I would like to recite a sonnet, that is the sonnet number 18 by Shakespeare. So I'll begin. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So I'll just give a very brief explanation of this poem. So basically, Shakespeare is comparing his love to a beautiful summer's day. But as he goes on, he realizes that it is just not adequate. The comparisons which he's making are simply like not living up to the standard of his beauty, of his lover's beauty. And then he moves on to say that everything in nature is going to fade away, everything is going to die out. But so like that comparison is just not apt. Then he moves on to say about how poetry and art is something which is going to stay immortal. It is as long as people have the ability to read and see and feel emotions, poetry is something which is going to pass on, and it is going to stay forever. And that is the apt comparison for the beauty of his love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asfiya, for beautifully reciting that sonnet and very well explained. Thank you so much. I would just like to read what Mandeep ma'am has mentioned. Highly appreciate the efforts. Keep up your good and wonderful efforts. You all reminded me of my college days. Good luck to all. Thank you so much, Mandeep ma'am, for your kind words and appreciation. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Priyal Jain for her recitation. Priyal, over to you.
Good morning. I would like to speak. I would like to quote a quote by William Shakespeare. The taming of the shrew. My tongue will tell the anger of my heart, or else my heart concealing it will break. So this is very related because I myself was like that. Like I used to keep my anger with me, and I never spoke up. So I always used to like burst out and I used to hurt myself. So this helped me that you should not control your anger. Whatever is wrong, just speak it up and tell the person that this thing hurted me, or I am angry on you for this reason. So I am very like this is very close. This quote is very close to my heart. Like I follow this basically. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyal, for your amazing participation and for your willingness to participate. She was a very eager participant. Next up, we have Akhil Chandrasekhar for his dialogue recitation. Akhil, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Azmeena. This is a dialogue I picked from Romeo and Juliet. So here it goes. Love is heavy and light, bright and dark, hot and cold, sick and healthy, asleep and awake. It's everything except what it is. Act 1, Scene 1. So, love is oddly the strangest emotion that we encounter in our life on a daily basis. The love between a mother and a son, the love between two college going people, although I do not encourage that, the love between a brother and a sister, the love between a grandmother and a little granddaughter, the love between animals and us. So, in tough times like this, where apart from science that keeps us safe, love is what keeps us together. So, a general smile and a little helping hand is what holds us together. Thank you.
Mind blowing, Akhil. Thank you so much for adding that humor as well in your recitation. Next up, we have Hamid Raza to present his dialogues and sonnets.
Thank you, Azmina. I would like to ask Neelu, ma'am, can I recite my content? Like I used to write poems sometime. It's a rhyme? If you like give me permission, can I read my rhyme?
You may try to be another Shakespeare.
No, ma'am, I can't be the, I'm not from like English pedagogy. I'm from science pedagogy. So I just write sometime. If you allow me, I can read it.
Yeah, okay.
So I call it rhyme number 8, Mama. So it goes this way. I need you when I was in the womb. I'll need you even when I'll be the groom. You held my hand when I stumbled. You understood everything when I mumbled. You have the tricks to swing my bad mood. And with time, your tricks collection accrued. When I was sick, you would stick to my bed. Medicine didn't work, but your hand on my head. Your smile is brighter than serious. Seeing you with that makes me delirious. I want you this young and beautiful until I gray. I want you for all my life. That's I pray. I know, Ma, I can't pay off what you do, but from the bottom of my heart, I love you. But Mama, you taught me each and everything I know, but you never taught me how to live without you. Thank you, ma'am.
I think that was superb. Yes, Neelu, ma'am, go ahead.
No, I said amazing. I was praising Hamid, and thank you for taking this initiative and writing and sharing it with us. It's so close to our hearts also. It's really very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hamid. Next up, we have Reshma Goregaonkar to present her dialogue and recitation.
Yes, good afternoon, each and everyone. Today's topic, as we know, William Shakespeare, when we talk about William Shakespeare, is take me 16th century. During the Elizabethan era, we can say the Renaissance period or era, rebirth of that era during that. So I took just one quote from the Hamlet: to be or not to be, means this to be or not to be, that is the question always in our mind. So Hamlet is asking about human existence in general and his own existence in particular way of reflection, whether it is better to live alive or dead. So it is nothing but a soliloquy, like the character is speaking themselves to reveal towards the audience. That's it.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Reshma, for expressing your thoughts that way. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Nagraj Ambat to go ahead with his presentation, with his dialogue recitation. Nagraj, are you there? Nagraj? Okay. All right, no worries. You can put it in the chat box if you are ready. And now I would like to open the floor for anyone from the audience to, with some emotions, with some expressions. And yeah, the floor is all yours. You can raise your hand, you can unmute, and you can start. Anyone? Shashikant, I guess you also wanted to read read the dialogue, so you can go ahead.
So, I mean, initially when I introduced William Shakespeare, I already told that, why he is different from others. And now I think after the dialogues writings that you have heard, the people, those who have recited his words from his different plays and poems, that makes that man a different man altogether. He has written 37 plays, and all those 37 plays are like wonderful to read in a different way. If you are reading one play, there is altogether a different situation, different scenario, and different understanding also. And when you read another play, the same goes with the sonnets also. So now my favorite play, that is Macbeth, I would like to quote a beautiful line from that, and that line is actually, you can relate it with yourself also. So in that, Shakespeare says that in Act 1, Scene 4, yes, he says that there's no art, but actually this line was said by Duncan. So there is no art to find mind's construction in the face. So the complete line is, there is no art to find mind construction in the face. He was a pure gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. So the meaning of these lines is that till now, no art has been developed which can tell you by seeing the face of someone that what is going inside the mind of that person. So this you can relate everywhere, that by seeing the face, you cannot say what is going inside the mind of that person. So wonderful line from that play Macbeth. So and this is very close, and I remember these lines exactly the way they are. So in the play, King Duncan, he has an trust from his partner, who was the king of Norway, that he is going to help. But Thane of Cawdor, the title, the Thane of Cawdor died there because he betrayed him. So then he says these lines, that there is no art to find mind construction in the face. He was a pure gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Thank you very much. Over to you, Azmeena. You can proceed further.
Azmeena, you can ask other faculty members in case they can share some.
Yes, thank you so much, Shashikant, for expressing your thoughts so nicely. I would like the faculty members to also feel free to, like participate in this. Please, you can even read it. Maybe like just search it and read it.
Yeah, so I have a favorite passage. This is from All's Well That Ends Well. I think this is the play from which. So these are words by the Countess to Bertram before he sets out somewhere. So here I quote, "Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Be able for thine enemy rather in power than use, and keep thy friend under thy own life's key. Be checked for silence, but never taxed for speech. What heaven more will that thee may furnish, and my prayers pluck down, fall on thy head. Farewell, my lord. 'Tis an unseasoned courtier, good my lord, advise him." So that's it. I like that bit of advice a lot, especially the first few lines.
That was fabulous, Meenakshi ma'am. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Anyone else from the faculty members? We would love to see you unmute and share. Anyone?
Melanie sir, you are taking the turn first. Yeah, thank you, Neelu. Thank you so much for this activity. And I am taking 2-3 minutes, although it is very, very personal, but somehow in this lockdown period, I looked into my collections, my past 25 years of my marriage, and I cleared up my cupboard. And I got a letter. I used to write poems in Hindi, Punjabi, English, anything. But this is written in, I think, long back. I'm not reading Shakespeare, I'm not reading any Indian poet, but I'm reading what I used to write myself. Just to share with you all on a very personal note, my husband had been a shippy and he used to go on the ships and for long tours. And I used to, you know, staying away from him and remembering all the time looking after family chores, and I was very passionate about my job and doing my PhD, looking after all by myself and wetting my pillows in his absence. So this is what is dedicated to him, which I wish to share with you. No this thing with any apprehension and all. It's remembering you. You can see the page also is gala hua now. I opened up my diary, I think after a number of years. The nights I spent without you made me miss you more, not only because you were required in the horrified darkness, not because your touch, your warmth, your soothing hands were missed, not because there was no one around when I wanted somebody to be around, not because I wanted your shoulders to have a hearty cry. You were missed more because the nights I slept without you always reminded me the days I spent with you. Thank you. This was for Ravi. Thank you so much. And I put it back in my old diary. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I wish to share with the students. I think this activity can be so helpful if we proliferate the poetry of Indian poets also with such compassion, with such, you can say, enthusiasm. Tagore and Khushwant Singh, Amrita Pritam, if you can continue with this kind of activity more often, because these are the poets which are not in university education as yet. These are the poets which have, even Tagore, if you see, it is not with that much of intensity as yet taught to our students in our school education, and poetry is very, very vast. Balani sir can be talking about, because I heard that Sindhi poets are getting translated now in English and in digital oration. And I loved that when I got to hear a number of things, because this generation has the opportunity now to translate and to present it in oration form, because children do not have time to read, but children listen and children see. So probably we can convert that all literature into this digital medium, which now 21st century generation, 21st century teachers have the opportunity, which past teachers did not have that much of provision, opportunity, or circumstances did not need that. But now this generation can definitely do that. Translation, digital medium, and extending your outreach through literature to upcoming generation. Thank you so much for this opportunity and allowing me to share my personal, I do not remember whether I shared with my husband when I came back, yes or no, but I'd love to share it with my students. Thank you so much. And please continue with these kind of activities, much more relevant than we teaching to our students. It's time that we need to learn from our students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mandeep ma'am, for bringing so much of positivity with your poem. I would like to hand over Anyone else from the audience?
Yeah, there are 2 hands raised. Komal and Vidhi, I guess.
Can I share a quote that I really like about Shakespeare? I mean, I haven't actually read about him or read his work a lot, except for in school. That also we had done only As You Like It. But there's this one quote which is very, very true and very apt. So I would just like to share that. If we are true to ourselves, we cannot be false to anyone. It's from Hamlet. And that I think is very important. We have to be true to what we are doing. We need to give ourselves that kind of justice to what we are doing, and only then can we be we will be able to give that justice to other people. We will be able to be true to other people. So I think that's a very beautiful quote from Shakespeare. Thank you.
Thank you, Vidhi. Komal?
Yeah, like Vidhi said, even I haven't studied Shakespeare a lot. Like only I had studied the play Merchant of Venice in school. So I remember this one line from one scene in Merchant of Venice, like the quote that says, "All that glitters is not gold." So I remember the context in which this, quote was written, and it was when the suitors come to see Portia, seek her hand in marriage, and the first suitor selects the gold casket. Like we all know, like people get attracted to gold. So like he thinks that her portrait might be in that since it is made of gold. So well, this line just stayed with me for a very long time.
Thank you, Komal. Does anyone else want to say their favorite quote or dialogue?
Maybe request Ansari sir, Manisha ma'am, if you also would like to say something, if you remember, if you recall anything.
Ma'am, I don't
Yeah.
have anything. I have my
Thank you, Neelu madam.
which I did in college time. That was not by Shakespeare, but I remember I played one role.
Hello.
Manisha ma'am?
Acha, Dr. Manish.
Yes, yes.
So I just remember one dialogue which I did, and that was, "A girl can express her in many ways, and Pascal is one of them." So I just remember this dialogue, which I played on a stage. I really, because I did most of the things in Hindi, so English was not my cup of tea, because I was in North and everything I did in Hindi. So English, बहुत दूर तक कुछ वास्ता नहीं था. So I didn't do much. So if you do some Hindi program, I will definitely do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ansari sir?
Yeah, thank you, Neelu madam. Am I audible to you all?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I don't know about much about Shakespeare, but whenever my kids are studying about Shakespeare, they are talking something about the Merchant of Venice or the Tempest or something or the other, and sometimes they are trying to act in that way. So today, while listening to you all students, I can see that within all of us, somewhere Shakespeare is there. If Shakespeare is not there, somebody else is definitely there. Is definitely come out during whenever we are getting an opportunity. Definitely, we try to express our things in some words, maybe in the form of a song or maybe in the form of a dialogue or something or the other. So I'm very, very happy that I could witness this today. The same thing, I think yesterday also it was done, but I couldn't join due to some technical issue. And I really missed that part. So I'm extremely sorry that I couldn't join. But today I got this opportunity and I'm very thankful to the students of our, literature club, especially Dr. Neelu Verma and the entire BTTC family. You people are doing a really wonderful job. I'm sure very soon, even the Science Math Club will definitely give up a good show. Not maybe in this manner, but maybe we will begin with a small thing like 2 or 3 minutes information in the morning, where the other club activities are going on. And maybe very soon we will come out with something, because especially in our science math club, we are also trying to do certain activity, but always in college we used to do that was physical. But now in virtual situation, we have to really think what exactly we can present. But I'm sure we will come out with something. Thank you very much, students. Over to you, Azmina.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, everybody. I think we end the activity here. And I would now, and thank you so much, Neelu ma'am, for encouraging the faculty members to, come up and participate.
So
Thank
even
you,
I
Neelu
got
ma'am.
encouraged a little bit, and I quickly remembered one line which
बोल दीजिए मैडम, बोल
very
दीजिए.
often you will hear about this particular line by William Shakespeare, and it's supposedly a dialogue in Romeo and Juliet again. What is in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. And basically in the current times, I relate it to the way that we act, to the way that we behave with others, and to the qualities, the inherent qualities of goodness that we imbibe in us, rather than just the name that may be only a label for us. It really doesn't mean much. The only thing that matters for others is the way we are with them, what are we with them, and how we are with them when probably they need help or when in their times of need. So what's in a name is my contribution to this. Yeah. Well, Ani sir's last reflections.
Yeah. Good afternoon, one and all. Dr. Neelu Verma, Dr. Milakshi Lath, Dr. Manisha Dagi, Dr. Ansari, Dr. Mandeep Kochar. We used to sit and observe the lessons of the students. I remember GD Somani School, where a lot of Shakespeare's lessons we observed by sitting in the classroom. So even I can recall many students who taught English. And it was a wonderful experience to be there as a supervisor and observe them, how things are happening. Especially as per the literature is concerned, if you look and analyze the literature in true sense is multidisciplinary. It's not only confined to the language, but it goes beyond it. It is so rich, which reflects the entire society itself. The way the people in the society interact with one another, the way people live in, what ethos they fall in, what language, direct or indirect, they use it, what philosophy they believe in, what code of conduct they shall follow, and many more things are reflected through the words. And Shakespeare was one of them who could create many mirrors for the society. And he was such a wonderful architect who could design, who could articulate the words in such a way so that these beautiful mirrors, more than 37 somebody Shashikant mentioned, are still, has been kept by us as a treasure. And every time we can share this with our children and can create opportunities for them, no doubt only to learn the language, but learning many more philosophies of life, values of the life to be cherished can be learned from these plays. Context may be different, but the people are same. As Meenakshi Madam read couplets, I was reflecting because she is a person of philosophy. And what happens, suppose that if you got a bouquet of, we can say, flowers, and you will pick up the flower that you like the most. The same thing also happens with the food. If you got n numerous of food are kept in front of you, like a Gujarati person will always go for jalebi and papda. That's what is very popularly, and this is what is happening with us also. But human nature also say that we may opt something different also. Maybe we have heard about it. Somebody told us, we might have experienced it, we might have seen at some moment of time. But it was truly a wonderful experience to be there with the younger generation. In fact, there's a generation gap between you and us. But BTTC faculty is such a young. Let me tell you, I'm 52, but let me reverse it 25. Because I want to be there with you all. I want to learn from you all. That is the most important thing, and I'm very happy. And I have interacted most of the children. Azmina when came with her father, and when she left, his father was still with me. I told her that God has graced you, and God has given you a diamond. Your child is different than the normal children. Please take care of him. Likewise, every child, it's not only Azmina, but the way I have interacted with you, I have seen one or the other, we can say, things. I have seen a dream in you. I have seen, I have experienced that from your talk that you want to do something in your life. And I am truly convinced that you have been putting a lot of efforts. Let it be language learning, let it be Shakespeare, let it be reading sonnets from the Shakespeare's. But ultimately, how to put all those learnings in the life. I think Amit did a wonderful job. And the poem that he has written, how he, the way he described the relationship between mother and the child was really amazing. It was really touching to the heart. There may be many more things which are written, and we can only value and cherish. Whereas there is a pure relationship between all humankinds. Even we need to cultivate a heart in such a manner, suppose that if we don't know anyone, we may not have a relationship, but still we must have a kind heart so that in a very difficult time, our heart should reach out to even to the stranger and can connect and can help in a very difficult time. I think this should be the message from today's program, that we must take it. Shakespeare has created a history by writing, but I think we have got much more power than him. We can implement all these learnings in our real life and can create an environment of mutual respect and mutual growth and development. If we can work for our society and can create set example for the younger generation, I think is need of the hour. Dr. Mandeep Kochar mentioned about the Sindhi literature. Now, there are three people who has contributed to the Sindhi literature. That was Shah Abdul Latif, Sachal, and Sarmast. And if you see the kind of couplet that they have written, even the entire Sindhi community and more than 150 poets, they are not even in a position to decode the language that they have written. And even I think today or tomorrow, somebody will take up Even I tried my level best to understand some of those couplets, which has the secrets of living a spiritual life, because they are termed as Sufi sons of Sindh, which reflects the philosophy of Sindhis and Sindh, the ancient civilization. So what I want to tell today, English has become a universal language. It has not remained any more foreign language for us, and that's why we have included Shakespeare in our curriculum. But simultaneously, as Dr. Mandeep has suggested, that we should also reflect more and read from our own ancient culture, even our Upanishads and many more epics which is written by our Rishi Munis are also equally valuable. So we can also draw many parallels from those books and also can share with the students. But still not an issue. We will keep doing this because this day was totally dedicated to the contribution of Shakespeare in the development of the literature. And I think we all must pay tribute on this important, you can call it as a birth anniversary or death anniversary. 23rd April will always be remembered, will be uh, Shakespeare's Day, and we will keep celebrating on this, but keeping the Indian values intact in all our interactions. Thank you, Neelu ma'am, for inviting me, for giving me this opportunity to learn from our children. I'm very happy that they are becoming more open, they are becoming more interactive, and all these programs are enriching. I will wish that you shall come up with many more such programs and let us celebrate learning. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just to bring to you that this program was entirely right from the planning stage to the execution stage. It was totally done by all our student volunteers. You can see these the executive body members of Literary Club Wizards. They've called our Literary Club as Wizards.
Yes.
That's the tag that they've given it.
Shashikant, Dinal, Janet, Azmina, I think did a wonderful job.
And
Please clap for them. Please clap for them.
we also have Dr. Priya with us, who also helps students plan, and she also keeps guiding them. Today also happens to be the World Book and Copyright Day. And Dr. Priya, we would request you to say a few lines before we close for this event.
Today is a copyright day. I just want to say that whenever you are taking any references in your any type of article or assignments or project, maybe it is not checked by plagiarism, but still as a practice, you should guide your students as well as you take it in your own practice that you should not do anything like that, and always try to give due credit to the authors. That is what I want to tell today, and how much ever possible you read and read. That is my advice.
Thank you, Dr. Priya. I forgot to mention Dr. Priya. She's a source of inspiration for all of us. I think she's one such person, like a water. You put it any glass, maybe glass of milk, glass of anything, she mixes it with like anything. And she coordinates, collaborates, works till, our objectives are achieved. I think she's a great source of support, a great colleague for all of us. We are fortunate to have all the colleagues at Bombay Teachers Training College, and that's why we call it as a PTDC family. And every year we get wonderful children like you. And you are a part of our extended family. We use a word parivar, BTDC family and BTDC parivar. So let us stay together during this difficult time. Let us stay in our house, not to go, and stay blessed till this pandemic is over. And then many more things will happen. in real times at campus, BTTC campus, because it has been renovated by the management with two beautiful lifts walking like anything. So let us have a lot of learning online than offline. Over to Dr. Neelu Verma. Yes, Neelu ma'am.
Yes, sir. I would request students to wind up the event. And also apologize to the next faculty member. We've kind of taken away half that.
Dinaz, over to you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Balani sir, for your inputs. Thank you all faculty and all the participants who have participated. Now like Hamza to give a formal vote of thanks. Hamza, are you here?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I am visible. I hope my camera is on.
No, it isn't.
Switch on your video.
Oh,
all of you, please switch on your video so that we can have
Yes.
a photograph together.
Who is
So good afternoon. As we come to an end of the program, I would like to extend our heartiest gratitude to our principal of BTTC, Dr. Bhagwan Balani, and Vice Principal, Dr. Mandeep Kochar, for giving us the liberty to have such fruitful programs. A big thanks to our amazing teachers in charge, Dr. Neelu Verma and Dr. Priya Pillai, who's immensely supported us throughout. We are grateful to our team for working with fervor to see the program through the completion. Lastly, we thank our wonderful participants for participating and making the program an interactive one. Let us now stand for the national anthem. Thank you.
Can you hear the national anthem?
No,
can't hear.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Balani sir. Balani sir.
Yes.
Can I give them break now for half an hour and then I start my lecture, because I have 2 lectures today. So half is gone.
Okay.
Because immediately they may not be ready.
So you can start at 1 o'clock.
Half an hour break, na? That is what I am saying.
Done.
Okay. Students, are you okay with half an hour break or you need 40 minutes? Please let me know. Students, please let me know.
Ma'am, it's fine.
It's fine, 30
Yes,
minutes?
ma'am.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, come back at 1 o'clock and then we have continuous 2 lectures, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Balani sir, are you are the host, right?
Yes.
So can we like stop the recording